Listen, it's not going to always be somebody right there for you to talk to. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. This is Be For Real Vlogs, and today I'm coming at y'all with some tips and some advice to combat depression and anxiety. So, before I do that, let me introduce myself for anybody that is new. My name is B. Octavia. I am from Washington, D.C. I have a main channel that will be linked below, and this channel is for a lot of different things, as I say. And just all across the board, both of my channels are very versatile and diverse, and that's what I like. Now, I wanted to do this video because I had no idea what depression or anxiety was. I knew what feeling like I was anxious was, the feeling of anxiousness was, but nobody ever used the word depression. When I was growing up, I never heard it until I was like in my late teens. And I still then did not identify what I was somewhat always feeling as depression. Depression is sadness, but it's different levels of sadness. It can be triggered by people or by yourself. You can cause your own anxiety attack by keeping so many thoughts in your head, or it could be so many different scenarios that you end up triggering yourself in. So you do have to be aware of those things. But once I knew what depression was and I identified when I was just sad versus when I was depressed, I knew exactly what it was, and I wanted to not feel it as constant and continuous as I was. And a part of that is, like I said, keeping a lot of thoughts bottled up in your mind. Depression can go to certain levels of dangerousness. You can become a danger to yourself, whether it's because of the decisions that you make while you're depressed or otherwise. But I always tell people it's all in how you react to what's going on around you. It's all in how you choose to calm yourself down. And you got to figure that out. You got to figure out what works best for you. I think that in certain situations, people jump to medication really fast and not really try as hard as they can to combat it and self-heal, or just work within yourself and work on yourself by yourself. And I understand that a lot of people, like, that's not a easy thing for people to do. Some people do feel like they need other people to help them through their tough times, but it does end up being a lot on whoever you're dependent on. I just be wanting people to be mindful of, going to the extreme of harming themselves or trying to commit suicide. I try to get people to realize how many people they'll hurt and how many people really try to help, like, as best as they could. I never wanted it to get to that level, in my life, but I did sometimes have the feeling of, would things be better if I was not alive? And that's not a good mindset to have, when everybody around you or a lot of people treat you like you're invisible, and certain things happen where you become the target of the jokes and the ridicule and things like that. You don't feel much love, It's easy to X yourself out, because you feel like things will be better. But in all actuality, things will never change. Things will keep going the way that they was going. And that's the hard truth that might just save a lot of people. I can identify when I'm feeling anxiety to another level because I can't remember if in my childhood my heart was racing as fast or my chest tightens up, things like that. I can't recall a time where that was happening, and that was the time of full chaos. But I was numb, I was very numb to it. And it's almost like as I grew older, I woke up. I woke up and really got tired of a lot of things that continued into my teenage years and into my young adulthood. As I started to get older, my body started to react, slamming of doors, like just simple things like that. And it's not simple. It shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't have been happening. But that feeling of hearing a door slam extremely hard is very triggering. And it's more so triggering on my body. It's triggering on my mind because I can't think of anything other than what's going on right now. I'm still in the process of working through that, and working through how to calm myself down from the inside out. It's still a struggle for me, but it's getting better over time. Everything that happens around you doesn't need a reaction from you, and that has saved me from going off. That has saved me from doing something that would possibly get me in jail. So here are some tips, some advice that I could give for how to fight depression and anxiety with being productive. Number one, I would say start taking care of yourself a lot more. Within taking care of yourself, that means getting up a little bit earlier. Over time, it will progress. I was a person that would sleep in until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon if I could. Before having a child, and like right in between graduating from high school and getting a serious job and things like that. And that was not a healthy schedule. Self-care is the first step because I'm not gonna lie to you, like you start to get excited, especially when you see results in your skin clearing up. You start to get excited to get up and wash your face. Something so simple, like be excited about that. So self-care, that's number one. Number two is eating a lot better as far as like cutting down on the candy, the snacks, this and that, and having concrete meals, being an actual adult. I can tell a difference in my mindset and my body and my overall health when I actually drink my smoothies and eat a good meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, And I come from not eating, I would say no matter how sad you feeling or no matter how depressed or anxious you feeling, make sure that you eat and make sure that you take care of yourself and know that you have to do that. You have to eat and you have to take care of yourself. I come from not eating for days, and then your body gets so used to you not eating that when you put food in front of you, you don't want it, and then you don't eat for days and days after that. Like, you don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like that anymore. So I forget what number we on. I feel like we on number 4, but I might be wrong. But the next piece of advice I have is get a journal or a notebook, you know what I'm saying, and really start writing down how you feel. Listen, it's not going to always be somebody right there for you to talk to, and it's only so much that you can say. It's only so much you can say to a person that's there for you. It's only so much that they can say in advice. You gotta get all of that shit off your mind and out of your spirit, All of it. Even like get out things that you wouldn't say out loud. Your journal is to be looked at as a huge way to express yourself. I do daily journals, and sometimes it's like weekly or a couple days a week. Right after something really triggering happens, I go to my notebook. Like, I go to my notebook a lot because I'm not a type of person that wants to put a lot of toxicity out on social media. I'm not like that. I could be. I have my phases, but I try to keep all of those type of thoughts off of social media, because who knows who might get triggered by that as well. Who knows who it might throw off, and it's not about how nobody else feel. I just don't want to carry myself like that. I'm not like that 100% of the time, so I'm not gonna let nobody or nothing that happens trigger me to that point. If I say anything or post anything about how I feel, I keep it positive, so I start thinking positive. And to be productive means a lot of different things. It doesn't always mean clocking into a 9 to 5. It doesn't always mean self-care, skincare. It means doing what's best for you, filling up your day with things that feel good to you and make you feel happy. Positive things too, like if you single, don't keep watching a whole bunch of couples things and things like that, because it could be a prank here and there or whatever, or what have you, whatever your fancy is. But at the same time, it's gonna make you crave that. And if you're not in an environment where it's good dudes or good women or whatever, you just gonna keep falling for the same shit or get even worse than you got before. You gotta be content with your situation. Being productive to me mean getting organized and creating certain lists, so I know exactly what I have to do in a day. So I know what I've gotten done and what I still need to work on, what videos to record and what videos are going to be for the next week. I go that far. And I just want to feel like, and I do feel like in doing so, that I'm making sure that everything is handled and I'm using my time correctly. Now, the next tip, of course, like I just said, is using your time correctly. Don't spend a whole bunch of time on Instagram, which is a free app, especially if you're not making money on there. Don't spend a whole bunch of time on an app or at a place where you're not making money. Use your time properly and you will feel productive. If that means that you can't hang out all the time, well, so be it. If that means that certain people won't see you this week, well, so be it. In my teens, I wasn't thinking like that, and that's the time to lollygag and do other things. But as I get older, I'm building a mindset of, okay, well, I could hang with this person or hang with that person, but is it going to make me any money? Is it going to, at the end of the day, make me satisfied about getting done what I had to get done on my list if I didn't get anything done? But I don't want y'all to be confused on a balance. And I think that will be my last tip. Now, within being productive and then, living your life and enjoying your life, you have to create a balance that's going to work for you. Not about if it's going to work for your boyfriend. Not about if it's going to work for anybody else. If it's going to work for you, you got to make it work for you. And if you have kids, you got to make it work for y'all. That's the beauty of creating a balance, that you, at the end of the day, you feel like you're being a good parent and you're being a good employee, or you're being a good content creator. You're being a good person, a good individual. Create a balance. As you get older, you need to realize that a social life is cool, but it's only cool if you got all your shit together. If you don't have all your shit together, you don't need to have a social life at that moment in time, you know? It's a lot of crazy stuff going on anyway in the world, so I'm not really too concerned with that. And if it interferes with what I got on lock as far as my schedule with my child, you know, it's not important right now. My child is almost 5 years old, and she's growing up so fast. You know, these years is just going by, but every year is more satisfying because I know and I'm confident that I'm getting everything done that I have to get done for her and in her name, but most importantly in my name. You know, it's something that she will be proud of, and Lord knows where my words will get me. That's the most important thing of all. You gotta see the bigger picture of what you doing, and you gotta have reasons why you doing it. Do it for you. If you got kids, do it for your kids too. But most importantly, do it for you. And if it's something that's gonna cost you your balance, it's costing too much, you know. You gotta cut that out. It's time to sacrifice. And it's time for all of us to get our stuff together. That's the ultimate goal. Being financially stable, happy, feeling satisfied with what you've done as far as the work that you've completed, the hours that you've put in. It's time to go. Let's get it, you know? So that's all I have for y'all today. It's your girl, B. Octavia, and I will see y'all in my next video.